Row 9 of the Coral Portals Beanie. In this row we're going to expand the cables to 3 stitches, and otherwise we're just going to continue as we were for everything else. So we start with our usual front post extended single crochet, end up with 1 on the hook, and then we go to our first live loop stitch, and we're going to do 2 single crochets into there, and they're live loops, so we leave the last loop on the hook. So yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through again, and then a second time going back into that same loop, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through again. So now I've got 3 on the hook. The original front post extended single crochet, 2 live loops coming out of the first live loop stitch, and then we work the third live loop stitch, also a single crochet. So now we've got 4 on the hook, and at this point I like to remove the stitch marker because it gets a bit in the way. And then we go down and work the boundary stitch, the front post extended single crochet, and the extended. Then we put our stitch holder on the middle stitches, so leaving the outer 2 stitches out of the holder. Slip our hook off for everything except the last loop, and then pick up the other boundary stitch, so we've got 2 loops on the hook, and pull that through behind the stitch marker. Now we change colour to colour 2 with a little chain, and we tighten up the previous stitch, putting our hook into the center of the stitch here for our center single crochet in colour 2. Pull that through, yarn over, pull it through, and then again we put our hook into the center of the stitch between the 2 legs, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over with colour 1 in this case, and pull it through to complete that second colour 2 stitch. So we're now back on colour 1, and we go on to make the second frame of the window or portal. So yarn over, pull it through again and again to make our front post extended single crochet. Then we're going to put 2 single crochets into the first live loop, and both of those will be live loop. So yarn over, pull it through, and again that's our first live loop single crochet, and then we go put our hook back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through again. So I've got 3 on the hook here now. And then we go on to work the second stitch on the stitch marker, and that makes putting our hook into that loop. We then yarn over, pull it through twice to get our third live loop single crochet. Take our stitch holder out all of the way, and then go on to work the second front post extended single crochet, our boundary stitch, and then put our stitch marker back in place, so we're now holding the center 3 stitches on the stitch holder, slip our hook out except for the first loop, and then that loop there. So we've got 2 on the hook, pull that one through there to complete the front post extended single crochet, and then we go on in colour 1 to make the 2 center single crochets that form the channel. So we repeat that 4 more times, and that's row 9. And it looks a little bit better if you move the stitch marker out of the way. There we go. So we're starting to get our cable action happening, and we've now done all of the complexity of the cables except crossing the cables, of course.